Hello, how are you? Hey, my people on YouTube, those on LinkedIn, and those of you on um, Instagram. Thank you very much for joining me once again. Family strategy. I've told you every day I will teach you something on family strategy. I'm your favorite family strategist. Praise Forward is still the name. Okay, how are you guys doing? And how is it going with you? I want to believe that you have a fantastic day. And yesterday was really, really good. And I thank you very much for your feedback. And some of you are already sending me questions that you want me to answer. So today we're going to be looking at how to handle a difficult spouse without losing your mind. Yes, I know there are people watching this. You are almost running amok. You're running crazy because you can't seem to handle the person that you've married. One of the devastating things that can happen is when you marry someone that is supposed to be your lover and it's becoming your nightmare. It can be very, very annoying when someone you expect to be there for you is not there at the time you need him. When it's looking like, hey, this is my nemesis. When someone you want to encourage you is turning you down or using wrong words, and you some of you are like a shadow of yourself. If you are in that situation where someone you love is proven difficult, then please, I empathize with you, and I want you to know that strategy can heal you. So if you want to check on my Calendly and schedule a clarity session at least, I mean, clarity is 15 minutes, and that's pretty much free. However, subsequent sessions are not free. I have a chain of I have all kinds of coaches that can work with you, right? And by the way, if you're still listening to me, you know you can self-heal. You know you can build yourself a framework using my family combo. So you want to go ahead and sign up for that right now. Use the link. 2 books will be shipped to you. Thank you for everyone who has gotten it. I am super excited at your testimonials, and I pray that what you're experiencing is going to be permanent. So thank you very much. So when we talk about a difficult spouse, the first problem is that oftentimes we don't know how to define what we call difficulty. When things don't go our way, we can say it's difficult. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't have difficult people, because a difficult spouse sometimes can be a misunderstood spouse, right? And when I mean a misunderstood spouse, yeah, it can be a misunderstood spouse because the person might have trauma in their lives because people give what they have, not what they don't have. And so, if you have someone who is traumatized and then you marry that person, the person will extend trauma to you. And so you are the recipient of their behavior, but you are looking at them and you think they are wicked when in actual fact, they don't have capacity to deliver what you experience, what you expect them to deliver on. The problem was not them. The fact that you didn't do the due diligence before you got into a relationship with them might be the real issue here. Sometimes a difficult spouse might be it might be someone whose personality is not also not deciphered by you. And what do I mean? You have 4 kinds of spouses. You have the intimidating spouses when you go the route of brand of car model personality, and you have the intimidating spouse, and those ones, they are like, they can be perceived as wicked. They can gaslight you. They have low attention span. They get angry when goals are not met. They are driven by project. Relationship is a distant fourth, so they can forget birthday. They can, and they bully people. Life to them is a battle, right? So you can have that. Then you can have the creative spouse. The creative convertible, they usually attract opposite sex, and so they don't also know where to draw the boundary sometimes. They literally talk about themselves all the time, and then they promise a lot, deliver so little. They don't mean what they say. They don't say what they mean. They are also, people can scatter the house. Now that can literally petrify a very organized spouse, a methodical spouse. All right. Then you have the dependable spouse, and that one is very diplomatic, slow and steady. The only challenge is the analysis paralysis. They can tell you, let me think about something, and for the next 4 months, they're still thinking about it. And that's, of course, for someone who wants things done immediately, that can be very annoying. Then you have the systematic spouse. Systematic spouse is a perfectionist, right? They live by standards. Their words can be harsh. They don't suffer fools, and then they are not empathetic. If you do something and you facing the consequence, they believe that whatever we go through in life is as a result of something that we've done wrong, right? And so when you have this category of spouses, they can appear difficult depending on the spectrum of the temperament that you belong to, right? However, we need to understand that when you're dealing with a difficult spouse, some of them are they appear, the word you use is they're wicked. Now, in strategy, remember again, we say strategy has three pillars. The first pillar is, what outcome do you want? Do you want to be happy? Do you want bliss? Or do you want the person to change? Right? The power you have is the power within you to do what you can do, not what they can do. You can't stop the bird from hovering on the sky, but you can stop the bird from perching on your head. And so you want to be happy, I believe. Then the other one is internal capacity. What is your capacity to produce that outcome, right? And so maybe you're someone, you can stand it when people gaslight you and it gets to you, right? And then, so what we say is that the problem is not the problem. How you see the problem is the problem. You are looking at your partner and you think they are okay, and you think they're sane because they still go to work, the guy's a CEO or the lady is a CFO, and then she can drive, she can still have sex, she can do all those things, she can hand a salary. You just assume that they are fine. Meanwhile, they might be traumatized, they might be even be having some mental health issue that is not clear to you. And so a lot of the times, the moment you shift what you believe as sanity to this person is troubled, this person is maybe insane, right? A judgment will be replaced with empathy, right? And so the third pillar is the operating environment. To say, what is the operating environment? What are the optics? Maybe you're dealing with, you are a developed, highly evolved person, and you're dealing with someone who is developing or who is evolved. It's like a German who has gotten married to someone from Cambodia. The first challenge you're going to have is language barrier, and then your worldview is going to be totally different. And you see all these things play out at all times. Now, you want to look at this situation and say, what do I do? Now, there's a concept called singing to the lion. Singing to the lion, it's a very interesting concept. And so picture it like this. When you think of a lion, what comes to your mind? Right? Of course, I know. For some of you, you are afraid, you're scared. Okay. If a lion shows up in your bedroom right now, why are you scared? You are scared not because you've encountered the lion before. You are scared based on the reputation of the lion, what you've heard about the lion. And so information is what drives you, or your interpretation is what drives your mood. And that's why we say whatever you believe is what you behave is what you become. So interpretation is the real issue here. Now, so having said that, when the lion roars, what is you are afraid, you're petrified. Now, have you thought of singing to the lion? And so I would ask, who represents the lion in your life right now? Maybe your spouse. Okay, if that's your spouse, have you thought of singing to the lion? So what I'm going to do is, you can find a partner and tell them to roar like a lion and behave like a Dracula, like a dragon, come in your direction. But at the same time, you will be singing your favorite song at the top of your voice, right? If you're singing your favorite song at the top of your voice, you realize that your voice, depending on how high your tone is, can drown the roaring of the lion. If it doesn't drown it, at least you are distracted by whatever you're singing, that the roaring of the lion does not get to you. Now, if you have done that successfully, let the roar continue. But this time around, I want you to sing the song very loudly in your heart. Without saying it out, you will still realize that it will produce the same effect. That is one of the easiest ways to deal with the lion, because you can't stop them from the tantrums from there. But what if you look at him or her and you think, okay, as they are shouting and screaming, you are singing your best song in your mind, and then your mood changes because you are in control of that mood. So you are excited and they are wondering what's going on. I did that for a woman. Her husband was always gaslighting her, was always insulting her. And then I said to him, that can you picture him as someone who has just gone to join Hollywood and is, acting the role of the hungry husband. So he's gotten into character. So imagine if you follow him to location and you're observing him, how will you feel? He said, I will enjoy the scene and I'll even be telling him what he needs to improve on. And that was what she did. The next time the guy was angry, she knew the guy was trouble. She knew, believed that he was on location. And so she's watching the movie. And after a while, the guy realized that she wasn't responding anymore. After about 3 moments or 4 moments of that, he had to ask, what has changed? And then that was when she said she's been working with me. And the man said, see, anybody who can make you stop fighting me back, I will pay anything to be with the person. And that was how I started working with him as well. So there are so many ways to deal with a difficult spouse. Now, I know that there are some difficulties that might be more than the other, especially when the difficulty is the fact that the person is likely going to put your life at risk. And so in that moment, you can call it truce meeting and then a crisis meeting and then negotiate. If it's going to be philandering, then it's got to wear condom anytime he wants to be with you. Or you can actually say, hey, I'm not sure we're going to have sex for a while, because of this and this and this, which you have a right, because the covenant of life is superior to every other form of covenant. So what do you do? The first thing I would recommend for this family strategy, is that you need to study their love code, not their flaws. See, I told you the problem is not a problem. How you see the problem is the problem. If you see the troubled spouse as a wicked person, right, you will always feel perpetually upset, because your interpretation will determine your emotions. Your emotions will influence your decision, and your decision influence your outcome. The question you always have to ask is, what outcome do I want? You want to feel happy. If you want to feel happy, then you tame your interpretation, right? If your interpretation is a wicked person, your blood pressure will be rising, and then you'd realize that your outcome wouldn't be good. But if you want to end in the outcome of bliss, you look at him, and then you realize that he's still the man I love. So you focus on what is good about him. So tonight, can you pick your sheet of paper? On the left side, can you write what is good about him? Can you write what is bad about him? Now, when you're done with that activity, I want you to be honest with yourself. You'd realize that you will hardly repeat two things in what is good about him, but you would have done a lot of tautology and repetition in what is bad about him. For example, a typical list on what is bad about him will be, oh, this guy is stupid, this guy is wicked, this guy follows everything in skirt, he's an adulterer, he's a fornicator. The list is like 10. But then you have written 5 things, same thing, in 5 different ways. So you want to, create a perceptual code. Who is he, right? And you say, okay, my husband is an amazing man who is troubled. That's the way you're saying. So what is their love code, right? He loves to be giving gifts. Gift is his primary love code. So I'm going to give him a lot of gifts, right? And so you do that all the time. I was working with a man, a lady who said that a man, was very mean, never ever appreciates her. And so I said to her, I said, what does he love? I said, gifts. I said, so every day send him lunch at work. And so she would do that, she would do that, she would do that. And the man became softened again. We can never tell what people are dealing with, but we can create a strategy to win with them. So study their love code, not their flaws. What we say, focus creates blindness. We become what we behold consistently. You can look at this book and tell me the color is red, depending on how you're saying it. But you can also look at it and say it's cream, right? You are both correct. So a lot of the times we are too quick to focus on the bad that we invalidate the good. And what we've done is that the bad becomes so big a screen that it covers up whatever is good, that we don't even have capacity to see what is good. So whatever is done that is good, exaggerate it as if the world has never seen anything like that before. Number 2, set emotional boundaries calmly, right? Set emotional boundaries calmly. You can detach emotionally. And what I usually recommend is that you can communicate with them. And one of the things you can do is to go meet them and to say, oh, can I have a conversation with you? Please, how do you see me? Who am I to you? You want to know, all right? Say, but you're my wife. And what does that mean exactly? All right. And they say, okay, but this is exactly how I feel. I think you talk to me and it gets to me, and things like that. And it shows how you see me, right? And so sometimes they can be defensive, but defensiveness is dependent on how you present the matter. If it is accusatory, they will be defensive. But if it is fact finding, you are just trying to know. It changes the dynamic. So you can set emotional boundaries calmly. Then you can use silence as strategy, not punishment. Like I mentioned, sing to the lion. So you are literally watching a movie. The guy is on a location. Every time he gets into character, or the lady gets into character, and all hell is letting loose. It takes 2 people to enter a ring to fight. Once the opponent never shows up, the fight is over. So beat the opponent. We always think that we have to be right. No, in relationship, you don't insist on your right. You do what is right. So one of the things you must master is your own mental wellness. To say, I'm going to be happy by myself. So if I were you, every day I would focus on activities that keep me happy. I would do mirror talk wherein I do affirmation. I look at myself from head to toe. I'll be at my best, put on my best clothes. When I want to sleep, if I'm a lady, I put on the best lingerie. I will throw a party. I will pop the wine. I will dance. You see, because it's called personal development. It's not corporate development. You owe it to yourself to be happy. I tell people that none of us is going to live here till age 120 or age 150, right? Or age 300, let's even say that. And so if we're not going to live up to age 300, how many years have we spent on this planet, right? And so how many other years do you have to run around? Maybe if you are 50 right now, you have like 20, 25 years or 30 years to run around. Yeah. And so if that's what you are, why would you want to allow anyone to take control of your day? Whosoever can get you angry is in control of your life. And it's not what they're saying that actually gets you angry, it's the interpretation of what they are saying that is getting you angry because you are assuming that that person is saying. So use silence as a strategy, think within you, detach yourself, change the meaning, see the thing as they're saying in the movie, right? And enjoy watching it. Number four, learn to discern with empathy and love. You don't respond to hate with hatred, right? Because that is going to change you, right? You want to respond to whatever they're doing with love because you are the bigger person. It was Michelle Obama that says, when they go low, we go high. And so one of the things you can do is be empathetic, keep giving gifts, right? What you're doing is you're making deposits, and one day you're going to be able to withdraw, right? Can you imagine God becoming devil because we don't praise him? No, he cannot deny himself. So you have to live up to who you are per time to say, hey, I'm a good person, so only goodness can ooze out of me. Whatever comes out when you're pressed is exactly who you are, and evil is not going to come out of me. And number five, refuse to mirror their dysfunctionality, because many of us become bitter and toxic because you're in a relationship with a toxic spouse, right? They should not be able to influence you. You are light, they are in darkness, and so you keep shining your light. And that's why self-nurturing becomes very key. I usually recommend find a support group, find a new hobby to pursue, right? So if you can go golf, if you can learn something, and in case they are the kind of people who don't allow you to go out, there's a lot you can do on your phone. You can play games, you can watch movies, you can throw party, you can be happy by yourself. By all of this, I am not against separation, especially when it becomes abusive and when life is at stake, right? It's within your right to activate the human power you have, the covenant of life, which is superior to any other form of covenant. But you see, what we call difficulty is how we see it. Every difficult person is actually a traumatized person. Many of them have been damaged by the people they met. And so sometimes what you're doing triggers memories. So it's the memory. We need to get them to a point where they can see a specialist or they can see a professional. And we're available to work with you. It's always very interesting when I sit with couples and I see some of these things and I realize that, hey, the person they call difficult is only looking for someone who is understanding, someone who has expanded awareness, and someone who can truly see the pain that they are dealing with, right? And so I always say to their spouses, sometimes you need to be a mother or you need to be a father, which is about a heart, to say, if this person were to be your firstborn child, what would you do differently? How would you recapture them? But we have gotten to a level where I'm not going to take responsibility for a badly behaved adult. Yes, you're correct, but the person is in your space. You still want the marriage, right? And so there is a way to make this work. Now, I design a strategic framework for many of my clients, and I can tell you 8 out of my 10 clients eventually get it right. Now, 2 usually fall by the wayside or it never works out, but 8 is a pass mark. And so if you're dealing with any issue with a difficult spouse and it's killing you, hey, we can help you, we can sit with you, and we can show you a framework that works. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me today. I will see you tomorrow. But don't forget, we have the Family Life Combo, which contains 3 world-class courses. 2 of them are on parenting. You can bond again with your children. You can recover your children. You can master how to script your children for success and write their user's manual. The other one is a 6-week course on Afrocentric family governance, family excellence course, how to set up a framework and a system, especially for those of you who live outside of Africa, on how your family can work. See, you can fail proof your family, and those 3 courses will do that for you. It's self-paced, all by yourself, and then 2 courses are shipped to you unbroken, and out of the box parenting. See, this combo ideally is about $1,000. It's been made affordable for you, 150. But if you want family strategy, you want to build an intelligent family strategy session, we're not bound by time in there. We are helping you set up frameworks, 9 intensive session, right? Is you can scan the code. It's about $10,000. You spread your payment. You can talk to me, or if you have any other issue at all. The good thing about working with me is that everything you need is available. So if there's a therapist that is needed, we have someone in our team. We don't want to send you away and then you go and repeat your story. No, we keep it within, and then you can spread your payment as it works for you. Thank you very much once again. Well, this is day 2 of family strategy. Please share this with your family and friends. I see you smile, and when we walk with you, because we're the best that exists across the globe, your life totally takes a new turn. I celebrate you. Go ahead, get the combo, or get on my Calendly, or hey, get on the Building an Intelligent Family. I'm here to support you. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye. Thank you to everyone who has joined on Instagram. I celebrate you all. Please, it's 9 p.m. Central Time every now and then. I love you. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.